to Chris Cook for YouTube. Today we're going to come to you with a little bit different video, and the reason for that is because in one of my videos I noticed that my stove looked a little bit like it had baked on foods from when you're cooking. Like if a pot over spills and the heat is on, that's going to cause it to bake into your stove. And I use an electric stove, but now it's not just one cook. I have a lot of cooks in my home. Everybody is capable of presenting dishes, so you're gonna get a stove that has been used quite a bit. So today I'm going to show you how to clean that. Now the ingredients that we're going to need in order to make this concoction is going to be hydrogen peroxide, baking soda, you're going to need some paper towels, and an SOS soap pad if you have one. And last of all, you're going to need a brush. Now, I want to tell you something about the stove. If you notice the back eye on the stove, it is a lot cleaner than the front eye. That's because we use it a lot more. On the back eye, you don't see as much of a ring as you do on the front eye. On the front eye, you see a ring on the front eye. Okay? So you're going to get, even though the back eye is going to look a whole lot newer when you finish cleaning it, it's only because the eyes that you use, they get more use than the eyes that you don't use. So that's to be expected. But what we want to walk away with is a clean stove. So let's get started on how to do that. First, you're going to sprinkle on your baking soda. And you're going to sprinkle that all over your stove, okay? And you're going to be generous with it. You're going to sprinkle the front and the back. Doesn't matter whether you use a lot or you don't. You're going to be generous with it because you want to clean this. Now, you're going to allow this to sit on your stove for 20 minutes at least. And then you're going to go back and you're going to scrub up. Now, if your stove is really, really dirty, it may not clean solidly the first time. So you may have to go back and do it again. But hopefully, if your stove looks like mine and mine will get clean, yours will get clean. That's about a half a box of baking soda that we used. And next, you're going to add to that. You're going to add some hydrogen peroxide, and that's just your regular peroxide. That's what you're going to put on that, and you're not going to pour it fast. You're just going to put it on there, okay? So put it on your stove. Okay, you want to make certain that you get your peroxide every place that you got your baking soda, okay? So once you get that on, okay, and she's using about a cup of that, maybe a little bit more. Once you get that on, you want to just scrub it in just a little bit, okay? And then you're going to let that sit. And you're going to let it sit for 20 minutes. You might want to let it sit just a little bit longer. And then we're going to clean that up. We're going to put just a little bit more baking soda down on this to make certain that we got just enough on there. And I mean, baking soda is what, about $1 a box? So using this one box, actually it'll be the perfect thing for your stove, because at least your stove will be clean. And you'll get it ready for the next holiday, which is going to be Christmas. Make certain that when you do this, that your stove is completely turned off and it's cool. You don't want to do this on a hot stove. Okay, now that's all you need to do for this 20 minutes. So we're going to allow it to sit there. We're not going to over rub it. We're just going to allow it to sit there and do its thing. And what we'll do is we'll bring you back in 20 minutes. And that's when we'll put a little bit of elbow grease into it, get it cleaned up, and show you what it looks like. Be right back. Okay, guys, now we're to the second part of this, and I got one daughter working on the top part of the stove. I got a second daughter working on the bottom part of the stove. Now the top and the bottom, it's different ingredients, and the reason for that is because on the top part of your stove you get baked on ingredients. In other words, when the heat hits it, that just penetrates into that glass and it's just a bake on type grease. With the bottom part of the stove, because we're cleaning the glass portion, and I have a self-cleaning oven like most of the people do, this is going to be straight grease. So your ingredients are going to be just a tad bit different. So for the grease part of it, of course you're going to use the best detergent or dishwashing liquid it is for grease, and that's going to be Dawn. The second that you're going to need, that's not water, that's vinegar. It's white vinegar. And the third ingredient that you're going to need is going to be baking soda. Now, you're going to use that SOS soap pad. That's just to help you get the grease up. That's what you're going to actually do the scouring with. And you're going to use some paper towels to clean it off. So let's get started. And she's going to show you how to do this. Remove your items. And then you do exactly what you see her do. Now you can see how much grease is actually on my window in my stove. And again, I'll tell you that's because we do a lot of cooking in this house. So you're going to see that. But now we got to move into the Christmas holidays, and you want your stove to be just as clean as it was when you started your Thanksgiving Day cooking. So you're going to make certain that you just sprinkle a generous amount of baking soda on it. Now you're not going to sprinkle as much baking soda on the bottom part of the window area of the stove as you did on the glass area of the top part of the stove. Now to that baking powder, baking soda. I keep saying baking powder because they look so much alike. But you're going to go ahead and add your vinegar. Now once you add your vinegar, it's going to start to foam up. Don't be afraid of that. Just continue to do what you need to do. It will not harm your hands, but they do have on gloves, protective gloves, just in case. Okay? Then you're going to add just a little bit of your Dawn, and you know your Dawn is going to go ahead and cut that grease. So you're going to add some Dawn on it. And she's going to clean this part because this part is going to actually be a little bit easier than that top part. Now she's going to use the SOS. We're using an SOS soap pad to clean. So she's going to go ahead and use that in order to clean and remove that grease. How does that grease actually get on your stove from the inside? Because the grease is popping back on it. Whatever you have in that oven is popping back. And it's baking the same way that the top stuff is baking, but it's just not an open flame. So it's a little bit different. Like I told you, I'm using I have an electric stove because in the area that I'm in, we don't have gas. We can't use gas. We just use electric. But the baked on food is no different. It's absolutely no different. Now this may take just a little bit longer to get it off. And even after you get it off, you may look at it and say, oh, well, I think I need just a little bit more cleaning. And you can always do this again. But I tell you, we're going to go ahead and she's going to add just a little bit more baking soda to this. But I tell you that if you go ahead and you do this process, you won't have to worry about your stove having all that grease on it from way back when you first got it. Because you can just remove that as you go. Now, I mean, I'm fortunate because I have girls in my home that know how to do these things, so I don't have to do it. Yay for me, I don't have to do it. But because they know how to do it, And because they've done it before, we can pass this on to you, and this will be able to help you. And if you look down at this stove, there is a ton of actual greasy, and I won't say dirt, I'll say particles, that's actually being consumed by the Dawn dishwashing liquid, the baking soda, and the vinegar. And vinegar is good for a lot of things. I don't know if you all use vinegar when you wash your clothes, but that is the best hack that I have ever learned, especially when you're washing towels. You put like a third cup of vinegar over in your towels or in your clothes. It removes all the odor. There will be no odor. And I have been using it for years. The same way I use the bleach when it comes to washing my dishes. I will not wash my dishes without some bleach in it. And I will not wash my clothes without some vinegar in it, because vinegar works wonders. Now what we're going to do is going to take maybe her about another 5 minutes. This is a quick process. You can do it within 20 minutes. A lot of that is removed. How do I know that? Because I can tell from the SOS pad that she's using it. When she first started to use it, you could hear a lot of the crust that she was actually picking up with the SOS pad. Now it's smooth in certain places. So we're gonna go away, let her go ahead and wipe that up. Like I said, this will take about 20 minutes. That'll give the top part of the stove, because remember, it's taking 20 minutes with that. Enough time for it to go ahead and get that stuff up off of that. And then we'll bring you back and we'll show you just how clean this got. Now you saw the before shots, because we put the all of the ingredients that we were going to use, we put it down on top of the glass, so you saw how dirty it was. So I want you to look at it when we show you the finished product of how clean it got. And we're going to try to see if we can post a picture, a side-by-side picture, so you'll be able to see it at the end of the video. So we'll be okay. Now she's starting to wipe it off, and we're gonna bring you back when we get some of the mess of the oven cleaned up, so you can really see what it actually looks like. Alrighty, now we're gonna clean up. And like I told you, it takes about 20 minutes. Just showing you how to clean the glass portion of this. And I want you to look at it compared to what it was looking like at first. Okay, now if you can see it, all of that grease that was all over everywhere, that grease is gone. And I have a double oven, so you know how to clean this part of it. And so at the end of the video, what we'll do is we'll show you the oven, the double part. I got an oven up underneath this oven, so what we'll do is we'll show you this one, because that one hasn't been cleaned. So we'll show you that one as the before picture, and then we'll show you the top one as the one being clean, because it looks so much different. Now this is just the glass, this is just not the outer portion. We'll clean that later. I just wanted to show you exactly what this really looks like, and you just use the same process that you use, but look at that glass, how that glass is truly shining. That glass is looking so much better than what it did look like. Okay, and that's the way you want to make certain that you get it clean. So if you have some kids at home, or somebody that can apply some elbow grease, let them go in there and clean that oven. If not, the process is yours. But look at the difference that it makes. Sometimes it's the simplest hacks that make the biggest difference. So just want to show you that. That looks really, really good. And I'll bring you back when we get ready to do the top. Be right back. Okay, now we're back. And it's been about 20 minutes. So we're going to do a little bit of scrubbing. see where we are. And then we're going to do some scrubbing with the SOS soap pad to make certain that we go around that ring. So I just want to show you where we are in the process. So we're going to soak up some of this vinegar and the baking soda so you'll be able to see some parts of the stove. Then she's going to take that SOS soap pad and she's going to go over it. So that's going to get that baked on grease. And what we'll do when we take up some of this, so you'll be able to see the stove and you'll be able to see exactly what it looks like and how much of the baked on grease it actually removed. We'll bring you right back and we'll show you that portion and then we'll go from there. Be right back. Okay, now the scrubbing is done, so she's going to wipe it up just so you can see what it looks like. I think that it's truly clean enough for me. So we'll bring you back once we get some of this, all of this white baking soda, we get that off. We'll be right back. Okay, now we're done with the stove. There goes the top. And remember I told you my stove is old, and there's a lot of cooking being done on it, so you're going to see it. But my stove is basically clean. Everything down is smooth. And then here is the bottom, this is the first oven. And as you can see, that is clean as well. So if you're looking for a quick fix that's going to take you about 20 minutes to get done, get your girls, or you can get yourself in the kitchen and get this done. We want to tell you happy holidays and thank you for watching. Chris Cook for you too. Bye.